You're listening to Nick DiPaolo on the Riotcast Network, riotcast.com.
Hey, kids, how are you? What's going on? Holy Christ. I sat down at 12 o'clock, noon time to do this. It's now 4:20, just getting to opening the show. Why is that? Well, I plug my iPad in, I get some type of fucking message that software needs to be updated. And then my iTunes software on my laptop need to be updated. And then there was a glitch while it was updating. And then there was 19 other fucking questions. Steve Jobs, rotten hell, you fucker, you. Anyways, no, but I realize he helped create this thing we call the, whatever. And it helps, guys like Jared Fogle lure kids into a van with a teriyaki sub, and other than that, you can look at some tits online, but the rest of it just fucking ages me at Mach speed. But anyways, oh, what a fucking nightmare. Then I get Rob Sprance on the line from Riotcast, and we do this Join Me program. He's looking at my, if you've done this, I'm sure. He's looking at my computer screen through his computer screen. Glitch after fucking glitch, and updating the iPad software, the status bar comes up. It's like, 3 inches long, and in the first, 2 inches and 3/4 goes by like in 5 seconds. Then I'm a cunt hair away from it completing the update, and it just freezes. And I'm staring at that for 45 minutes and getting in the fetal position and crying, and then something else came up, and then something with my fucking Dropbox kept sending me this message in error, and again, your sister's ass. Your sister's sweaty fucking ass. Fuck you and fuck me. How are you, folks? Good to talk to you. Big announcement. I was just doing a little speech to give you time. Here's the deal, folks. This is kind of exciting. Probably the biggest announcement in the history of the Nick DiPaolo podcast. But hopefully you're big fans because you're listening right now, and I'm guessing you are. But if you want more shows, we're going to make it happen. Here's how it's going to work. Get a pencil and paper ready. I'll be announcing this for the next few weeks anyway. So, but if you want more shows, I'm going to do the one show a week for free on Riotcast as normal, like on Monday. And if you want to get 3 more shows, you go to connectpal.com/Nick. Connect, CONNECT, pal, PAL.com/Nick. And it's a multimedia platform where I can do all kinds of shit. But most importantly, the DiPaolo podcast will be up there. $3.99 a month will get you 3 more shows. I should say 2 to 4 because of my schedule. You know how that works. Whether I'm traveling or not, I can get more in or not. How much time I have. But you can count on at least 3. I would say 3 more. So for $3.99 a month. Come on, for Christ's sake. That's nothing. And yes, and we can build this army. And I'm doing it because the downloads have been going up and up. So that's the deal. If you want more Nick DiPaolo podcast, $3.99 a month. ConnectPal.com/Nick. And yeah. We'll have some fun. I think Tom Green is with his company on this platform, and a few big-name politicians and a few syndicated radio show hosts. And it was a connection from the Nick and Artie show, a guy that I work with back there who helped start this, along with a very smart fella that went to Harvard, his partner, also a radio guy. So connectpal.com/Nick. And, yeah, starting tomorrow. So I'm excited. That means I'll only have to sell half the cocaine I usually do to make ends meet here in the household. That's a joke, you silly fucks. Anyways, what has been going on since we last talked? Well, you had the attack in Mali. That was a lot of courage, huh? Open fire on people staying at a hotel. Was it a Hyatt? I think it was. Anyways, more carnage. The world is just in chaos, and Jesus Christ, we got to talk about it. It's, it's stuff. It's just depressing every week. But, yeah, that happened since the last time I talked to you. But a lot of other shit, too. What the hell else? Let's start with my weekend. I was, yesterday, spent the day in in New Jersey, in Jersey City, actually, on a used car lot. That's right. Danny Soda and a woman named Michelle Wolf, very funny comedians, both of them. I think she writes for Seth Meyers, and you guys know Danny Soda, young guy, funny bastard, love him. Originally from Colorado, and came here, and you guys know from the Bonfire Radio Show with Big J. And anyways, him and Michelle wrote a pilot, web series thing for Comedy Central, and Comedy Central seems to like it, and it's about a used car lot, blah, blah, blah. And anyways, they wanted me to play, the guy who runs the lot. And so, yeah, it was, that's where I was yesterday. Every once in a while, you have to work like a real person in show business. The car picked me up at 5. It was in my driveway at 5:20 a.m. yesterday on a goddamn Sunday. That's right. And, yeah, he brought me to Jersey City. I get there. I'm there before even like the camera guys or the grip guys or the Comedy Central guys. Walked into this tiny little shitty trailer. It's an actual used car lot. It was perfect. I guess the guy that owns it is from like Egypt, and he's in Egypt, and he keeps an eye on his lot from Egypt. So God knows, I was looking for some type of, God knows what that guy's up to, because Danny told me all the cars on the lot don't even start. Let's lift the hood. Oh, fertilizer. That's good. Fertilizer, and what else is that? Some type of gas mixture. Who knows? God forbid I prejudge. But it's on my mind, So, yeah. So, anyways, we started shooting at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and got home at 8 o'clock last night. So, yeah. Yes, sirree, Bobby. It was like a 14, 15-hour day, and it was great. That means I was in every scene and got to be a maniac, just yelling at Dan and Michelle. I'm their boss, and with just a fucking shitty attitude, and it was just, they're like, go crazy. And you could work loose, you ad-lib here and there, and they know what they're doing. And it was really funny, I got to be honest. The script was funny, and it was just a blast. It was like me, Danny, Michelle, and one other actor, and that was like it for all the scenes. They'd already shot a couple the day before, so keep an eye out. I think Comedy Central seems to be kind of, who knows? Danny said, I think they're hot on it. They seem interested, but it was a blast. It was, and man, it got cold. All of a sudden, like 2 PM, it dropped. Temperature dropped about 20 degrees. The wind picked up, and we, did some outside shots, and it really is crazy. I don't know how people stay in show business as long as they do, but just, it's just funny. Fucking, there's a trailer, like, where you change, and, it's weird, man. While I'm doing it, I'm like, what? I feel like I'm doing a play in 8th grade or something. Some type of theater fag. I can't get used to it's just so funny. And then they're throwing, these kids are referencing movies and shit and pop culture. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. But Soda had me cracking up, and it was great. Like I said, he let us wing it. You could wing it here and there. Here's the structure to the scene. You got to get the words in, some of them, but let's do it again, only, so I'm just making up. At one point, I'm screaming in their faces and just going, you titless fucking grilled cheese eating, gluten-free jerk-offs, get out of my fucking... And they're like, oh, yeah, let's do it again. And it's kind of fun. But nothing beats stand-up, folks. It is fun to an extent, that type of shit, but stand-up, when you write and edit and direct yourself and you're out there by yourself, that is pure entertainment, the purest form, in my opinion. But acting, but that's fun, too, and they let you play a character. Hey, we need an angry asshole. DiPaolo, it says right in the breakdown. Should have been Nick DiPaolo. But let's hope that sees the light of day. You do so many of these things over the year. I read somewhere George Clooney did 28 pilots before the hospital show he was on. I don't remember what the fuck it was, hit. But he had done 28 pilots or something that never saw the light of, just to give you guys an idea of how the networks don't know what the fuck they're doing. So keep an eye out. Let's hope it, like I said, let's hope it, sees the light of day first and then catches on. Secondly, could really use it. But a blast. And thanks to Michelle Wolf and Danny Soder and everybody at Comedy Central who are really nice, man. These people behind the scenes, they're unbelievable. Watch these people work, setting up the fucking lights and just, they know their shit, And the wardrobe people, they asked me to bring like these cheesy shit I have in my closet, which wasn't hard. I went behind my third shirt and found a suit from 1967. Everything worked. No, just really ugly ties and shit. And fucking Danny they were wearing like polyester jackets and it was just, the whole visual was just funny. So that's what I did yesterday. Got home and fucking watched like a little bit of Arizona. And what the fuck were they playing? Does it really matter? And the Bengals. And I fucking nodded off about 8 minutes into that. They also gave me a bottle of single malt scotch in my bag, Comedy Central. So I had a nice glass of that on ice. And between that and me being dehydrating and holding a dump for 12 hours yeah, I went down like a Kennedy after 2 sips of that scotch. I was seeing double. Shit packs a wallop. But I think I found a cure to my sleeping problems. But anyways. Bop, 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 bop. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about it. I hope I didn't just blow something for Danny. I don't think so. But, God. Jesus Christ, DiPaolo. Honestly, man. What's going on before we get to the heavy shit? Oh, my fucking story had me belly laughing in the Post today. Only New York Post. Oh, God. Headline, hidden camera catches panty thief. Hey, I think we've all been there. Right, fellas? A Manhattan, she's a good-looking blonde, by the way. Her name's Ashley Chase. And just to sum up, she's a financial analyst. And she went undercover by... She noticed like her bras and panties would go missing every once in a while, and her bikini tops, and so she borrowed like her sister's phone, and there's some app on it that you can use, that any movement activates the camera, the video camera on it. Well, long story short, she leaves like in an elevator one day, and Jose Cedillo, her superintendent of the building, is like in an elevator with her, and she pretends she was going out. She had a bag in her hand, and she was going somewhere, the beach, or a Labor Day trip to the Hamptons. Anyways, and he's in the elevator with her, and so he can see that she's leaving. Anyways, about 10 minutes after she leaves to head to the Hamptons or wherever she was going, the app goes off, and sure enough, there's a video of him in there sniffing her panties. Fucking sick. Oh, my God. I mean, what is going on? Stupid. In this day and age, it's like, Ray Rice not knowing there's cameras in an elevator. Duh! Yeah, so she checks on the phone, and sure enough, there he is. She was headed to Montauk on Labor Day. And 10 minutes after she left, the thing goes off, and she checks it. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know why that makes me laugh. But listen, this is the guy. So she calls the cops. He gets busted for burglary, sexually motivated felony, and petty larceny. Papers are filed in Manhattan. This is him. He cops to the panty raid, admitting this is the guy. He goes, I went in today to look around. I took a pair of panties. I left. I went downstairs. I sniffed them, and I threw them in the garbage. Why would you throw them in the garbage unless unless she shit herself? Then he adds, I went in another time a few months ago. I don't remember when. Ooh. That one just gets me. Excuse me, those are my wife's panties. Excuse me, you dirty... I'll tell you why it tickled my fancy, because once again on the show, as always, real life imitates art and vice versa, I guess. But in this situation, I cracked up the minute I read the story because there was an episode on The Sopranos where when Christopher got made, Paulie Walnut shows up unannounced. It was a new thing with new guys being made that they had to strip. They could be strip searched at any minute because so many guys are wearing wires. I guess this was true too. So Paulie Walnut shows up unannounced at Christopher's apartment where he lived with Adriana, if you know the show, and says, take off your fucking clothes. And I think this was, it was. So he goes in. Then he goes in like Christopher's bedroom and sure enough, he's opening drawers to look for shit, make sure Christopher's not, playing double agent here. And he starts sniffing Adriana's panties. And Christopher sees him out of the corner of his eye. Which leads to this scene here. Tony finds out and has to have a talk with Paulie about this.
You sniffed that girl's panties.
He told you that? Fucking baby.
You gotta apologize.
T, I'm not apologizing.
You out of line. He's gonna marry the girl, for Christ's sakes.
As of the wedding day, anything that touches a pussy is off limits.
Anything that touches her, as of the wedding day, anything that touches her pussy is off limits. And fucking Gandolfini does the best acting there. Just looking at him with okay, you crazy sick fuck. It was the best moment I've ever seen. He just kind of looks at him, then puts his arm around Paulie, and they start walking. Oh, my God. I remember hitchhiking from University of New Hampshire. I went down. I used to hitchhike from University of Maine down to the University of New Hampshire to see my girlfriend on weekends in sub-zero weather. That's when you're young and you get a taste of Vazavatsa. You'll do anything. And I remember hitchhiking back, getting up on a Monday morning from New Hampshire, back up to Maine. I'm out on the highway. I was out there about an hour. Big 18-wheeler picks me up. I get in. Guy had like a bushy beard, almost like a ZZ Top. Kind of a creepy looking. So he goes, well, I tell him I'm going to University of Maine. And I know, oh, yeah. Yeah, my nephew went up there something. And he goes, they still do them panty raids up there? Fucking, I almost jumped out of the truck while it was moving. Oh, my God. You still do them panty raids up there? And the answer to that was yes. I think we did it, actually. I can't remember. I got to be honest with you. I've never... Well, I don't remember breaking any of my girlfriends, looking into their drawers and shit and sniffing that stuff. How unmanly of me. But I do know somebody, a comedian, that I was staying at his place once a long time ago. And nobody you guys know. So the phone, I was checking messages on his answer machine. That's how long ago it was. And it was blinking. And I pushed the wrong button. I played him, and it was him on the phone with a sex line. And he's on the phone, and he's talking one of those phone sex things. And the girl goes, he goes, yeah, I have some panties in my hand. And the girl goes, ooh, whose panties are those? And there's like a dead silence for a second. Then he goes, my sister's. And there's no, and it's just, I fucking rewound it like 8 times and played it. I was laughing so hard I almost shit. Whose panty those? My sister's. How does the girl on the other end of the line not fucking start laughing her balls off? I mean, I would have been fucking mad. Excuse me. Whose panties are those? My sister's. It was kind of like he asked it like my sister's. Like he had to come up with an answer on a pop quiz. Sisters, cunt! Yes, exactly. So that fucking cracked me up. So that guy's in the Post. How funny is that? How humiliating for a girl. Well, he had good taste. I'll give him that much. Sniffing her panties. I guess he took some dirty ones, like I said. Guy's an expert. He knows what he's doing. Who's not a question. What the hell else? Gangs of New York. Sicilian Mafia offers Big Apple protection from psychopathic ISIS. Does that ring some bells from the past, folks? Giovanni Gambino, he's the son of a key figure in the Gambino mob organization. Well, so why is he in the, post a picture of him? It's unbelievable today. Well, he says the mafia is in a much better position than security bodies such as the FBI or Homeland Security to give New Yorkers the protection they need. He says they often act too late or fail to see a complete picture of what's happening due to a lack of human intelligence. This is a mob guy talking with NBC. He added the mafia's knowledge of individual movements and interactions with locals give it the upper hand, even compared to the latest surveillance technologies. Of course, he's also trying to carve a role as a Hollywood screenwriter, this Gambino guy, which is, again, that reaches back to Christopher did that on The Sopranos. Obviously, the Sopranos guys relied on a lot of the local headlines, for their scripts, but boy, do they... there's a couple more examples in this episode that I'm going to tell you about, but he says, the world's a dangerous place today, but living in New York, neighborhoods with Sicilian connections should feel safe. We make sure our friends and families are protected from extremists and terrorists, especially the brutal psychopathic organization that calls itself the Islamic State. Okay, that's true. That's great and everything, but are you going to be at the Lowe's Cineplex when I'm going to see fucking Star Wars 19? Even though I wouldn't see that if they were shooting in my front lawn, but I'm just saying, are you going to be at what are you going to fucking hide out in the giant turkey float on the Halloween parade? Fucking see Sal Vicatrano under the turkey's neck opening fire on fucking... I understand what he means. The local neighborhoods will be protected, but how about the Madison Square Garden, or when you go to see a rock concert, like what happened in France? There's only so many Gambinos, I think, right? But I like the spirit. What a world, huh, folks? What a fucking world we're living in. With ISIS and fucking mobsters ready to do battle. But, again, this story's kind of relevant, but I'm like, why does this sound familiar? If you remember, and if you have your history, folks, and you know your history, there is a connection between, the mafioso, La Cosa Nostra, doing its part to protect the United States, and I know you guys who follow this shit know what I'm talking about. Lucky Luciano, World War II's Operation Husky, and... he was, you guys have seen it on TV if you follow the mob stuff. Luciano was in prison reading daily newspaper reports of Allied victories, and he got impatient. He wanted to be part of the action. This is according to Meyer Lansky. He had it all worked out. He would volunteer, this is Lucky Luciano, would volunteer to act as a scout or liaison officer for frontline troops. He'd put his neck on the line by being parachuted into action behind enemy lines and use considerable influence to win the war for America. Lansky laughed, but Luciano didn't see the funny side. He was deadly serious. And this is really, I can't believe, well, they probably have done a movie about this, but I didn't see it. January of 1943, the Allies were on the offensive in the Mediterranean. They were fighting, they already defeated the Germans and the Italians in North Africa. Now they were looking to open up a second European front to put more pressure on Hitler, while the German army was fighting for its life against the Soviet Union and Russia. The final decision was made at Casablanca conference between FDR and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. After much debate, the Americans agreed to support Churchill in his desire to invade Mussolini's Italy, which was the soft underbelly of Nazi Europe back then. To this, they would first have to attack Sicily in an operation that would go by the codename Husky. It's unbelievable. Having determined the location of the next Allied thrust, Churchill then had to admit that the Americans possessed an undeniable advantage when it came to dealing with Italians, in view of the friendly feelings towards America entertained by a great number of citizens of Italy, said Roosevelt to a telegram to Churchill. And in consideration for the large number of citizens of the United States who are of Italian descent, it's my opinion that the military problem will be made less difficult by giving to the Allied military government in Sicily as much of an American character as practicable. Practicable? What the hell is that? Churchill agreed, but he also expressed the fear that Italian-American anti-fascist agents appointed to Sicily might well turn out to have mafia links, which is like, yeah, that's what we're shooting for here. It gets more interesting. Lieutenant Anthony Marslow had no qualms about dealing with gangsters. This is a military guy, okay, lieutenant of the U.S. military, lieutenant. The exploitation of informants, irrespective of their backgrounds, is not only desirous, he said, but necessary when the nation's struggling for its existence. He hooked up with another guy named Captain McFall and Haffenden. Two other members of his four-man team were practicing attorney and an investigator who would later be tasked with exposing waterfront racketeering. They were now told to speak to all kinds of shady characters in order to get data of use in the, Operation Husky. You see? So Meyer Lansky was active. He was actively involved in bringing some of the personalities to Haffenden's office. The naval officers wanted everything they knew about the shape of the coastline of Sicily, the major landing points. So they got mob guys. Okay, they grew up in Sicily, knew the lay of the land, and they brought them in. And the Navy wanted from the Italians all the pictures they could possibly get of every port of Sicily, of every channel, and also to get men that were in Italy more recently and had knowledge of the waters on the coastlines. From his jail cell, Lucky Luciano recommended certain people who knew Sicily well, and Lansky escorted them. This is Meyer Lansky. Escorted them to the naval intelligence offices. Sox Lanza helped out, too. Sometimes some of the Sicilians were very nervous, said Lanza. Joe Adonis would just mention that Joe Adonis was a heavy hitter in the mafia. He would just mention the name of Lucky Luciano and say he had given them orders to talk. If the Sicilians were reluctant, Joe would stop and smile and say, Lucky would not be pleased to hear that you're not helping. And then they would... Imagine having that much fear. So then they would, they would spill their guts to what's the lay of the land in Sicily. And as the days counted down to Operation Husky, the Allied invasion of Sicily in the summer of 1940, it was not only U.S. naval intelligence that woke up the advantage of having homegrown links with the Sicilian mafia, but also, the Army, chiefs of staffs in Washington. They came up with a plan for psychological warfare in Sicily. This was in April of 1943. This included the establishment of contact and communications with the leaders of separatist nuclei, disaffected workers, and clandestine radical groups, e.g. the Mafia. In other words, those radical groups in Italy, they hated Mussolini because he was a fascist. So they were going to get these unhappy people over there to help with the U.S. military's invasion. Yeah, because it says it would not prove too difficult to get their help because Mussolini had come down hard on the mafia in the 1920s when he sent to Sicily the tough law enforcer Cesare Mori to subdue and humiliate mafiosos and their families. Many of them were tortured, sent to jail, or fled abroad to America. It was this hunger for revenge against the black shirts that the American military wanted to utilize. How fucking interesting is that? So the United States would supply them with weapons and explosives so they could blow up Axis military installations. This extraordinary concept of arming lawbreakers so they could fight against fascists and Nazis was approved by the very highest military authorities, including Eisenhower. Where's he? I just want to get to the word. On July 9th, 1943, the American and the British landed some craft through the waves of the Mediterranean onto the beaches of the southeast corner of Sicily. And the British were supposed to advance north along the eastern coast of Sicily from Saragossa to Messina. All the way they would encounter stiff resistance from German soldiers determined to slow their advance. Okay? And they took some heavy casualties, the Brits. It said the British advance would be measured in blood. But in contrast, listen to this. This is where it gets really interesting. The Americans quickly cut across Sicily to occupy the western half of the island and take its capital, Palmero, on the northwest coast. The casualties were a fraction of those suffered by the British. Had Roosevelt and Eisenhower been right? Had they secretly deployed their Italian-American contacts to somehow ease the progress of their own soldiers? Had underworld links across the ocean instructed the mafia in Sicily to aid the Americans and discourage Axis troops from attacking them? It's been a long-held belief that's exactly what happened. So the mafioso stepped up on behalf of the Americans and made it easy when they invaded Sicily. And very interesting. There's a lot more to it. I don't want to, that it's enough detail. But once again, I'm like, this all sounds familiar. And then in the final season of The Sopranos, I think it was the final season, the last of the second and the last, Tony has an encounter because, again, you guys know the show takes place in Jersey and the terrorists, and, they started to shoot the show in like 98, the pilot. In 2001 happened right in the middle of the series, so they had to work that angle into the show. And sure enough, Tony has a conversation with Detective Harris from the FBI talking just about this. And it sort of mirrors, you can see they obviously studied their history and did an episode sort of based on this. I have 3 short clips of Tony Soprano and talking to the FBI, and they're talking about this very thing, going to the mafia for help in its fight to defend the United States.
As I told you, my partner and I are with the Joint Terror Task Force now.
You're around Port Newark often enough. We're concerned about what might come through there from the Middle East.
Yeah, and
Let's talk terror funding. Most of it comes about through a legal enterprise. Our pitch is this, and it's the same we gave to Christopher Moltisanti. Maybe you never mentioned it. If you or any of your people ever heard of anything going down, Middle Easterners, Pakistanis, you'd be helping us a lot if you let us know.
I think there's a word for that.
Your daughter takes pre-med classes in New York? She uses the tunnels?
Ooh. In other words, you don't want your daughter to be blown up in the Holland Tunnel, going back and forth from class at Columbia or wherever. And here's another clip, again, of Tony with the feds. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Hey, T.
yeah, I'm here with some people, and the Arabs from the Bing. What were their names?
The Arabs.
Some people?
Exactly.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Ahmed and Muhammad. What'd they do?
Ahmed and Muhammad.
He's telling the FBI.
You know, actually, I got a cell number. I called him recently, but he don't answer no more. Ahmed al-Najafi. 973-555-0146.
Ahmed al-Najafi.
Tell me they're not going to blow up the chemical plant or some shit.
I don't know. I'll call you later.
Cell phone.
That's a real prize.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Tony had more integrity, and so did Lucky Luciano than the psychos today in the mob that rat each other out every 3 seconds. Here's the final contact with Tony and the FBI.
How's the anti-terror going?
Great. If you don't like sleeping, eating, or seeing your kids.
Listen, those Arabs from the Bing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you the truth. They're in Jordan, right? Getting their balls zapped? Well, you're not going to tell me?
I'm not really sure. For all we know, they may be harmless pistachio salesmen. And don't get so bent out of shape. You're a big boy, Tony. You know, World War II, your outfit protected the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Think Roosevelt told Vito Genovese where Hitler was holed up?
Go fuck yourself.
I love it. See that? Art imitating life and vice versa, I guess. I thought that was pretty cool, though. History repeating itself. Hope we step the fuck up. I don't know. We don't have any leadership on the legitimate side. I wonder if we have any on the mafia side anymore. You know? Speaking of fascists and whatnot, you know, I think you've heard Obama say that terrorism is actually being caused by climate change and global warming. And who else said it during a debate? Oh, Bernie Sanders actually said this.
Sanders, you said you want to rid the planet of ISIS. In the previous debate, you said the greatest threat to national security was climate change. Do you still believe that?
Absolutely. In fact, climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism.
Excuse me.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, not this fucking time. No fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, mate.
That's right. Well, the theory being that, you know, because of the planet warming up and eventually crops won't grow and people will be fighting for water and it'll cause, you know, international conflict. But how is that any different? Even if there wasn't global warming, whether you believe it or not, terrorists are always going to fucking... There's always going to be unrest all over the planet, okay? It's never going to be fucking equal. Get that wet dream, utopian horseshit out of your fucking... But here's the thing. Flashback 1941, okay? The headline from 1941 from a Cincinnati newspaper... it said, again, 1940. Scientists claim global warming caused Hitler. Warmer temps may produce a trend towards dictatorial governments. People are more docile and easily led in warm weather. This is a headline from 41. People are more docile and easily led in warm weather. Well, that explains why, you know, spring break is in Florida. And in Arizona, the Bahamas, and Cancun. I got more pussy because, you know, let's be honest. People are more docile and easily led in warm weather. Nobody's going to spring break in fucking Anchorage. You're not going to get any pussy up there. Might have had to do with the 8 Long Island iced teas I pumped into Betty. But, can you imagine that? 1941 claim, the rise to power of Adolf Hitler in Germany and Benito Mussolini, Italy, may be due in part to the gradually warming temperatures of the world. People are more docile. Links fascism with weather. It's a Cincinnati, Ohio paper. I think it's a bit of a fucking stretch. That was in the UP. That's United Press. I don't even think the Mason City Globe Gazette in Mason City, Iowa. That was another article. That was March of 1941. Yeah, it says increasingly warming temperatures throughout the world may produce a trend toward dictatorial governments, in the opinion of Dr. Clarence Mills, professor of experimental medicine at the University of Cincinnati. Well, if that's the case, how come we're the only fucking superpower left and there's a handful of dictators? But in fact, Dr. Mills believes that the rise to power of Adolf Hitler in Germany may due in part to gradual warming temperatures. I guess the leftists were fucking even retarded back then. Dr. Mills is author of a theory that climate has a marked effect on human growth, stature, sex development, and disease resistance. Well. That theory's been around a long time. And Bernie Sanders and the fucking idiots, Obama, they're trying to fucking pump steam back into it. Anything to get a reason to fucking tax the United States. That's all it is. We're the ones who'll be squeezed, the fucking taxpayers. And your carbon tax, my left nut. Fucking even if it is warming up. I'm not even denying that. I'm just saying. When you use it as an excuse to dip into my fucking wallet, yeah, I'm going to be skeptical. What else? What else is going on? Oh, fucking Trump. Might as well stick on this. Well, we had, on Friday, 5 more Syrians were stopped at the Laredo port of entry. Laredo, Texas, that is, Mexico border. This brings the total number of Syrians seeking entry into the U.S. Through our city to 13 this week. Yeah, a statement from the Department of Homeland Security. 5 Syrian nationals presented themselves at the gateway to the America's Bridges. A family consisting of a man, woman, and child, and 2 other men were taken into custody by Customs and Border Protections, a standard procedure. The statement reads that the CBP checked their identities against numerous law enforcement and national security-related databases. Record checks revealed no derogatory information about the individual. Would you let us know if it did, you fuckheads, in the land of sanctuary cities? Are we really going to trust anything? Boy. CBP turned them over to U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement for further processing and placement in an ICE facility, where I'm sure they'll be let free after they get a call from shithead in chief. As you may recall, folks, the groups of 8 Syrians were also taken by CBP at Laredo Port of Entry on Tuesday. And I know, and now we're into this phony debate that, oh, Jesus, if you're trying to deny refugees, you're a bigot and it's the same fucking tool they've been bludgeoning the right with for fucking years. And here it comes. I can't even believe we're having this debate after that attack in Paris and the guy with a fake passport, the Syrian with a fake passport. I mean, you consider racist or a bigot if you just even fucking want to have the discussion about it. I mean, we've lost all common sense. We've fucking lost our shit. Yeah, there should be a suspension immediately. I say a moratorium on legal and illegal immigration. Completely, for like 10 years. Let all the black and browns and yellows and purples and everybody that's come over here, let them fucking learn our ways. Let's shut the doors for a while until, they assimilate into our culture. Is that really out fucking outrageous? And when Syrian is the hotbed of fucking terrorism, really? That's bigoted to want to double check or just put a suspension, a temporary suspension? Is that asking too much, really? Holy fucking moly. Oh, goodness gracious Heloise. I mean, is it really that out fucking outrageous? And, they've been coming over. I remember hearing 5 years ago reading that like every 15th or 18th or I can't remember what the exact was, person sneaking in was from like a country that was on a terror watch list. I mean, it's been going on, forever. And even with all the madness, people, don't want to be racist. I could give a flying fuck, my friend. Shut the doors. At least for a little while. Shut them all. Fuck just the wall and fuck just the wall on the southern border. Build it all the way around the country, Trump. You get trillions and zillions all the way around. The whole fucking perimeter. Outline it. I told you my plan. Bring everybody home. Make an announcement to the world. Hey, terrorists, everybody, we brought everybody home from Korea, Japan. We're bringing everybody home, and we'll do business with you because we know you have to do business with us to survive. But if anything happens, we are going to melt the fucking planet. That's my plan. I'm an isolationist. But, of course, Trump, Mr. fucking, with his nuanced speech, I guess since I talked to you guys last, he comes out. Somebody asked him about a watch list or a database to keep an eye on Muslims, and Donald, the reporter brought it up, and now Donald's been taking a lot of backlash because you can't use that type of language. You can't go, because right away the lefties go right into their panic. That's like fucking Nazis. That's like Nazi German thing. And I did a bit on my special when they were upset. Remember when they wanted to pull people? They were pulling people over in Arizona, and if they found out that you were there illegally, they wanted to deport you, and people going, that's just like Nazi Germany. It's like Nazi Germany. And I said in my special, I don't remember Jews sneaking into Germany. I don't remember them climbing over the fucking fence. I got a nice laugh, so it must have had some truth to it. But, some reporter kind of yelled out he's in a gaggle of reporters to Trump about this idea. And, of course, Donald, most politicians would go, just Jeb Bush would go, that's fear-mongering. I wouldn't do that. But here's what Trump did about his idea of a watch list or something. Not his idea. It was the reporter's idea. But he admitted it was a good idea.
There should be a lot of systems beyond database. I mean, we should have a lot of systems. And today you can do it. But right now, border, we have to have strength. We have to have a wall. And we cannot let what's happening to this country happen.
But that's something your White House would like to implement.
Oh, I would certainly implement that.
He would certainly implement that. So don't try to deny it, Donald, that you said it. He was trying to backpedal. And so what, I say? So fucking what? But that was dumb, Donald. That was dumb. It was really dumb because, you don't come right out and say, you just do it. You just do it. There's a million ways to... Look at the guy sniffing at panties. It's not even safe to sniff panties in a building that you're the superintendent of. You just do it. Yeah, a watch list. So what? Oh, but civil rights and all that shit it doesn't matter. National security comes first. Who gives a fuck about your civil rights if you don't have a country? I don't give a shit. Make a list as long as my arm. You don't think that's going on right now? I think, de Blasio, no, we can't put surveillance in mosques. And please tell me he's an actor in this role, too. He can't be that. Can he be that stupid, really? We're surveilling. We have to be doing undercover work. If not, you're very naive about the world, which people on the fucking far left are. That's not how it is anymore. Ooh, that would be prejudice and racist versus being shot up at a concert. Those are your two fucking choices. Pick one. Yeah, so... And Trump says that shit, right? Even I'm going. I said to my wife, I go, you know what? I think he doesn't want to be president. I think it's almost like the public. He keeps going up in the polls. We're calling him on his bluff. Remember at the beginning, people go, oh, he's just in it to sell books. He's not going to run for president. And I sort of agreed with that. And it's like a, what do you call it? Chicken fight. Trump's like, yeah, I'll show these guys. And we're calling him on his bluff. He goes, I'll say something outrageous. Because you think maybe he's getting tired, or he's like, oh, God, this is harder than I thought. And he says these outrageous things. And part of me thinks he says them on purpose, thinking it's just going to implode his campaign. If I come out and say I'm for a watch list in this politically correct world, oh, my God, my numbers will plummet. Maybe that's how I can get out of it. It's the way I'll pull the strap on my parachute to get out of this fucking mess. And he says it, and the public's like, fuck you, you're in this for the good. The numbers go up even further. But it's just, that's a crazy theory. But people are sick of political correctness and what's going on in the world and the lack of leadership and all that other shit. So, when he says it, people are like, yeah. He also said he'd bomb the shit out of certain, ISIS strongholds. He goes, I'll bomb the shit out of them. And you know what? Good! I'm all for it! Just being around a few of the actors, too, this weekend, a few of them, listening to them talking, and it's so funny. I'm like an undercover agent in this business, because you guys know my politics, and most of the people do, but there's certain people on the set that, I guess they might know, but I'm listening to them. Once they get amongst each other, black people get real black when they get around each other, and they black it up. And that's what libs do. They get around and say, oh, do you hear what Trump said? What is he, fucking Hitler? I'm just sitting there in the makeup chair laughing quietly. It's hilarious. That's why you got to go, come to this show. You're not going to hear this shit anywhere else. Everybody else is looking over their career. It's too late for me. I don't give a shit. I blew the lid off on Tough Crowd. I'm an open book. Don't say Mein Kampf. I know what you're thinking, you dickheads. I say that like there's liberals listening to this show. But Trump, I definitely implement that. Well, okay, don't try to backpedal. Don't get mealy-mouthed about it. You said it. Now take it to the bank, Mama Luke. I don't think it's so outrageous, They love to go to that Nazi That's it, did it, Nazi. I don't give a shit. Whatever you got to do to keep the homeland safe. The truth is, you can't prevent any of this shit, can you? You can't prevent psychos. By the way, they say ISIS is making their own cocaine now. That's good. That's good news, huh? But you can't. How are you ever gonna prevent that? Somebody going into a mall, and we're an open and free country. That's what makes it so easy for psychos who don't believe in that. You know, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Here's a nice headline for you: White House gave ISIS 45-minute warning before bombing oil tankers. This is fucking. Can I make this shit up? Can I make it up? Can I fucking make it up? Yeah. The Obama White House has given ISIS a 45-minute warning before bombing their oil tankers by dropping leaflets advising potential jihadis to flee before airstrikes in Syria. Get out of your trucks now and run away from them. Warning, airstrikes are coming. Oil trucks will be destroyed. Get away from your oil trucks immediately. Do not risk your life, the leaflet reads. I can't believe what I'm fucking hearing here. I should believe it, though. Because when we went over one of the USO trips, it was even, it was the Japan one, which was in 2005, 4, I don't know. But even then is when I learned about rules of engagement. And the Marines were telling me, yeah, we can't shoot unless we're shot at. I got dizzy on my feet. I thought they were making it up. So this shouldn't really surprise me, especially with a peacenik in the fucking White House. But the leaflet drops are justified under the premise that oil tanker drivers might be civilians and not ISIS recruits. Well, if they're driving trucks for fucking ISIS, I don't give a shit. They're part of it. You know, just like Ward Churchill said, the people, what did he say about the people in the fucking towers? Which he was so wrong about, little Eichmanns, he called them. In this case, it's true. They're driving trucks for ISIS. And this guy, J.E. Dyer, goes, they're waging ISIS war, just like the other non-uniform participants who make up 100% of ISIS ranks. This is how much Obama wants to control collateral damage. Compare the Obama White House's approach to fighting ISIS to that of Russia. While it took the U.S. 15 months to even begin targeting ISIS oil refineries and tankers, airstrikes by Moscow destroyed more than 1,000 tankers in 5 days. So who's really in it to fucking win it? We are in it to win it. Yeah. In comparison, Colonel Steve Warren said the U.S. had taken out only 116 tanker trucks. The first strike to target ISIS' lucrative black market oil business, which funds over 50% of the terror group's activities. Listen to this. This is what killed me in this article. U.S. airstrikes targeting oil assets are so rare that PBS, the network, was caught using footage of Russian fighter jet bombing an oil storage facility in Syria and passing it off as evidence of U.S. targeting the Islamic State's oil infrastructure. They had to find a clip. They couldn't find a clip of us blowing up, ISIS oil reserves. They actually had to substitute a clip of a Russian jet blowing up a storage facility in Syria. Pilots are coming back. The pilots say, you went 12 full months while ISIS was on the march without U.S. using the air power. And now as the pilots come back to talk to us, they say 3/4 of our ordnance we can't drop. We can't get clearance even when we have a clear target in front of us. You fucking hear this? That's what I mean. It's going to be all scripted. But, again, now, when you say that, Obama administration, they have an answer to why they were doing that. Numerous analysts claim Obama White House 15-month wait before it began targeting primary funding mechanisms behind ISIS was part of a tacit policy to help the Islamic State overthrow Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. So that's what, which may be true. You know, they're saying, hey, we didn't, 15 months ago, we weren't blowing up ISIS because we thought that they were going to overrun Assad, who's still our fucking enemy. And I can almost buy that. But you dropping fucking leaflets? I don't know.
Sexist cunt!
I know, that's how I feel. Believe what you want to believe, folks. I don't know. Hey, let's talk about some feminist news, huh? This is a great story by Carol Markowitz. How whiny feminists are ruining sex. This Carol Markowitz says, when I was growing up in the 90s, the dominant feminist message delivered to teenage girls like me centered on female strength. And but she says today these women are treated as perpetual victims in need of safe spaces at their colleges so they dare not hear alternative opinions, suspicious of all men as predators and infantilized by people in power seeking to protect them. We've gotten to a point where society accepts that sex isn't an action between two equals. We treat the man as always in control of the encounter. A drunk woman is incapable of consent, while a drunk man remains responsible for all his actions. Amen. That says it all right there. Women can go, I was too drunk, you know, when they charge rape. I was too drunk to... They have that thing now where you have to literally get a verbal answer from the woman, to go to the next level after making out with her. And I had a joke about that. I told you it's hard to understand what a woman saying when she's got a dick in her mouth. What? You want me to but isn't it? She sums it up. Guys on college campuses, they can't, they have to fucking be totally responsible, even if they have 10 beers in them. But women can use that in court against them. Yeah. What's this other thing she talked about? A girl. Oh, listen to this. This one will make you fucking crazy. This woman, it's in New York Magazine, to give you an idea. It's called The Game is Rigged, was the article. Rebecca Traister tells the story of Rena Gattuso, a Harvard senior, who wrote a column for the school paper, about a sexual experience she had at a party. She was drunk. She slept with two men. She admits that it was entirely consensual, but that she woke up dissatisfied and confused, wondering about the power imbalance in sex. Traister writes, eventually, Gattuso realized, that's the girl who slept with the two guys, that what she was grappling with was not just the night in question, but also the failure of campus feminism to address those kinds of experiences. We tend to talk about consent as an individual process, she wrote, instead of asking what kinds of power are operating in the situation. The student complained, they only ask questions like, did you or did you not say yes? It's not as simple as yes or no, she continued. Yeah, it is, you fucking whore. But ethical sex is hard, and it won't stop being hard until we minimize as much as possible power imbalance related to sex. Gattuso had, as women having consensual sex have throughout history, chosen the partners, the place, the time, and the action. And yet she believes the power imbalance isn't in her favor. Exactly. Have we really gone so far down the rabbit hole that the obvious fact that women can have sex whenever and however they want to, while men can have sex only whenever and however women want to, isn't obvious? Exactly. This broad fucking nails it. I like to meet this chick. I like to meet her. Tracy notes that young women don't always enjoy sex, and sex on offer to young women isn't not a very high quality. Well, excuse fucking men. Yeah, yes, young men are generally not very good at sex film at 11. But Tracy's conclusion is that the game is rigged, with the game being sex and the rigging being done by the sinister patriarchy to deprive women of sexual pleasure. Amen. Apparently, men are too self-involved and need to provide more in bed for women. The constant men should do this for women is the antithesis of feminism, yet frequently embraced by self-described mustachio pig-face whoas. Yeah! I thought she fucking nailed it. All the responsibility, you know? That little scenario she drew up with a drunk woman and a drunk guy in a college dorm, and she can go to court and just say, I was too fucked up to give consent, and yet he has to fucking be totally responsible for his actions, even though he's drunk. It's just such horror. Eventually, like I said, it's like with the race thing. Al Sharptons of the world won't be happy until it'll be illegal for white people even to talk about black people, and that's what it is. Eventually, with the feminists, they will not be happy until I don't know what'll make them happy. I don't think anything. I feel bad for the guys in college. Holy Christ! You wonder why they're dropping fucking shit in your Diet Coke when you're not looking. Nick, what are you talking about? By saying that, you're proving her point. Yeah, I guess I did, didn't I? I'm just saying. I'm glad I'm 53 and I don't fuck anybody. What? You heard me. Oh, yeah, I didn't read I talked about the 8 Syrians trying to sneak in, but I just NBC News had a story on it too, but it was so fucking, this is supposed to be, again, reporting is supposed to be unbiased, impartial. But on NBC News, it's unbelievable. The internet's so left right now, too. 8 Syrians were just caught on the southern border trying to get into U.S. ISIS, maybe? I told you so, said GO presidential candidate Donald Trump tweeted. We need a big, beautiful wall. Of course, they have to. Soon other Republicans were chiming in about the supposed threat on our southern border. Yeah, it's fucking legitimate. But I love NBC just... But the Department of Homeland Security told NBC News the Syrians were regular migrants who made no attempt to evade U.S. authorities. That's the tone of the reporting. The Republicans said this, then they said that. But then we talked to the Department of Homeland Security, and they said this.
Problem. You're the fucking problem. You fucking Dr. White, onking jamrag, ucking spunk bubble. I'm telling you, H, you keep looking at me, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground, I promise you. Not this time.
Oh, help us. Somebody help us. That's about it. Little story here. Kind of creepy to keep up with the times. We are coming. Pro-ISIS message found on Ohio College campus. Youngstown State, I guess it was. The Vindicator reports the rocks in the center of Youngstown State University campus were defaced with ISIS messages stating, "We are coming. France deserves destruction," and "YSU supports ISIS." That'll be Youngstown State. Campus police have reached out to the FBI regarding the message. Yeah, you know who I'd reach out first to? Black Lives Matter. That's who I'd reach out first to. And the anarchists that make it up. That would be white little fucking liberal jerk-offs and, angry black students and whoever else. Really, it goes across all racial lines when it comes to the 99%ers. But that's who I'd check out first, FBI. I'd find that group, and because they're pretty much one and the same. Don't tell me they're not giggling every time there's a blow against France or any of our allies, because they hate this country so fucking much. I guarantee they're giggling every time there's a terrorist attack. And I'll say that now, and I'll be right in a fucking year from now and have to remind you. That's who I'd look at first. Special Agent Todd Worth, the head of the Youngstown FBI office, told the Vindicator at this point there's no specific credible threat to Youngstown State or the Youngstown area. Yeah, check out the people who hang fake nooses on doorknobs and draw fucking swastikas and feces. Why don't you fucking... If you find out who did that, you'll probably get your answer here. Just a theory I have. Yeah, titless wonders, yeah. 150 on flight from Mexico allowed to skip customs, leave JFK Airport. Can I even make this shit up? Can I fucking make it up? The airline and security officials at Kennedy Airport let 150 passengers arriving from international flight leave the airport without going through customs, the Daily News learned. American Airlines Flight 1671 arrived at JFK from Cancun, Mexico on Friday night. When the plane landed, passengers walked out of the airport without having their passports or bags checked by Customs or Border Protection. Imagine? I land from fucking Montreal. I have to leave a stool sample and a cup of piss. A source familiar with the matter said passengers disembarking the plane just followed gate agents The security snafu came just 2 days after ISIS released a video threatening New York City. Some passengers on Flight 1671 did not complete immigration and customs upon when they arrived, when they were inadvertently directed to the domestic terminal. Can you imagine? The airlines had to contact the passengers and directed them to return to JFK Customs for processing. An official told the news on Sunday that 144 passengers had to return to the airport, and they had gone through customs. The 6 that remain are all U.S. citizens. But apparently the customs people were very aggressive on the phone. Can you fucking imagine the incompetence? Can you imagine? If that was a private company or some shit, it would have been fucking out of business. But that's probably because, I don't know if it has something to do with the fact TSA's made up of people who couldn't cut it at fucking Wendy's. I mean, you think that might have something to do with it? What a fucking farce. Oh my God, it's all scripted, folks. I'm telling you. By the way, a fan of the Latino immigrants, the legal ones. Like I said, every time I watch Meet the Press, or one of those Sunday morning shows this week with the Greek midget, they put up at the end, who died fighting in Afghanistan. It's going on, and it's always Latino names. There's always Latino names in there, Like I said, they're the Italians of what the Italians were in the last century. More Italians died in World War II than anybody, or fought in World War II. But I'm just saying, So, but the incompetence. Imagine with the terrorism going on, it's the holidays, and these fuckers are sending people to the wrong terminal. It's not even the passenger's fault. Now, what do you want from an airline that lost a girl's leg? You read that last week? The woman, one of the women who lost a leg in Boston Marathon bombing. American Airlines lost her fucking artificial leg. I can't make this shit up. Oh, God, fucking help us. Our Father who art in heaven.
He's a fag.
Oh, come on, not with that. I guess that's about it, kids. Sports-wise, I got the Bills and the Pats tonight. Had 7 right out of 16. My brother's got 11. It's at the top of the pool. And quickly, Panthers are still undefeated. College football, Ohio State, they were number 2 behind Clemson, but they get beat by Michigan State this weekend, and we knew that was going to happen. There's something, I don't know. And who else? Baylor beat up an Oklahoma State, who was like number 3 or 4 in the country. Yeah, that was kind of an upset. So there's a playoff system now, folks. So those are big deals. That's all I can really. I think we got it all, folks. I can't say it enough because of how much the show's been growing. People requesting more shows. So again, let me give this out: connectpal.com/Nick. That's connectpal.com/Nick. connectpal.com/Nick. And like I said, I'll do the free show, one free show, the Riotcast thing, like on Monday, and then if you want 3 more, $3.99 a month, and so we get to do more shows. And I just hope it's not a technical fucking nightmare like today, or I will be found hanging in my fucking shower. Alrighty, that's it. I don't know what else to say, but thanks for the support. Come see me Saturday night in Riverhead, New York. Riverhead, New York, at the Suffolk Theater. That's right. Riverhead, New York, this Saturday night, the 28th of Suffolk Theater. And then the comedy scene in Foxborough, Massachusetts, December 4 and 5. That's a Friday and Saturday. That's right around the corner. And, we're already into 2016. I might as well give it out there. And Levity Live, January 8, 9, and 10. Palisades Mall in West Nyack, New York. And Zanies on January 14, 15, and 16. I'll be downtown on the 14th and Rosemont on the 15th and 16th. And then the Sports Haven in New Haven, Connecticut, January 23rd, which is Saturday night. That's enough of the plugs, huh? ConnectPal.com/Nick. ConnectPal.com/Nick. I look forward to doing this every day because it's goddamn fun. Come on out and see me live. Those are the best shows where we can say shit. Again, I don't know how much longer I can say the shit that I'm saying. Hillary's going after comedians. I didn't even get to that today, goddammit. We'll get to it tomorrow. See, I can say that now. About Laugh Factory comedians busting her chops. Yeah, either way, you know how I feel. All right, kids. Good talking to you again. I'll talk to you real soon.